Alright, so good day to everyone. For today, we are going to discuss the accounts receivables. So objectives natin for this lesson, number one, no, we identify the proper presentation of accounts receivable, either current or non-current. Is apply the recognition principle in recording accounts receivable. Okay, so compute for the initial measurement, the subsequent measurement of the accounts receivable, and to estimate the recoverable amount of an accounts receivable. Okay. So this will be the first part or first portion of the discussion of the accounts receivable. All right. So later on, now I will be uploading and updating the two more subtopic of the accounts receivable. Okay. So let's start with the receivables. When we say receivables, these are financial assets because they represent a contractual right to receive cash or another financial asset from another entity. Okay? So we have two classes of receivables. So first we have the trade receivables, wherein when we say trade receivables, these are receivables that are related in the conduct of our operations. Okay? So kahit na anong receivable pa po yan, basta yan po ay through our operations, ayan, so they are classified as trade receivables. Whereas yung non-trade receivables naman, ito po, these are receivables that are not related to the operations. Okay, so let's have our example, no? Ayan, so X company had the following accounts as of December 31, 20X1. So we have here the advances to creditors for the purchases, advances to officers due on March 20X2, due from customers, customers accounts with credit balance, interest receivables, trade accounts receivable, subscription receivable, trade installment receivable, and trade receivable from office. Okay? So, yan lahat yung atin pong accounts, no? Na-incur as of December 31, 20X1. Okay? So, let us now classify them. So, required natin, let us determine how much is the trade receivable, how much is the non-trade receivable, how much is the receivable classified as current, and how much receivable is classified as non-current. Okay. So first, how much is the trade receivable? Okay, so sabi nga natin, ang trade receivable, these are all the receivables that are in connection with our operation. So number one, we have the due from customers. So that is a trade receivable. And yung tatlong nakalagay ay trade. So we have trade AR, trade installment receivable, and a trade receivable. So sabi ko nga kahit na anong form pa po ng receivable, as long as it is in the conduct of our operations, it is classified as a trade receivable. Okay? Ayan. So how about the non-trade receivable? Ayan. So for the problem, the only receivable that are classified as a non-trade receivable is number one, advances to officers. Siyempre, walang kinalaman sa operations yan, no? Umutang sa atin yung officer natin. The next one, we have the interest receivable. Again, it is non-trade. No, it is non-operating yan, yung interest receivable niya. So the total non-trade receivable is equals to 25,000. Alright. So, magkano naman daw yung ating receivable classified as current? Okay. So, dito, we have classified kanina a trade receivables, di ba? Ito, take note mo na lang, lahat po ng trade receivables, they are classified as current. Okay? Kahit na makita mo yung trade receivable from office that is due for 20X3 pa, it is still classified as current. Okay? Basta trade receivable. Bakit? Because it is our normal operating cycle. Alright? Kaya kahit na more than 1 year pa yan, it is classified as current. Kasi normal operating cycle na yan. Okay? And then we add the other current receivable natin, we have the advances to officers and the interest receivable which are due on the following year, no? March 20x2 and the September 20x2. Okay, so yung atin ngayong total current receivable, no? Trade and non-trade receivable amounts to 915,000. Okay? Ayan. So how about the non-trade, non-current, receivable. So of course, none. Okay, wala po. So let us now have the other items that are on the enumerated given kanina and what are their presentation. Okay, so number one, subscription receivable. Sir, bakit hindi po non-current yan? O kaya sir, bakit hindi po yan non-trade? Okay? So bakit? Because the subscription receivable not collectible currently. Ano yan? 20 extra pa yan, no? Shall be presented as a reduction of subscribed shares. Ayan. Doon po siya. Contra equity account siya. Okay? Kapag ka hindi pa siya current. Pero kapag ka current na yan, ang classification na po niyan, non-trade current. Okay? Pero since yan po ay non-current, hindi po yan presented as a receivable. It is presented as a reduction of subscribed share capital. Next, advances to creditors. Hindi pala creditors to. Advances to ano to, no? Vendors ba yun? Sorry. Double check natin, no? For purchases to di ba? Advances to, natin. Creditors nga, ayan. So, advances to creditors for purchases. Pero hindi, tayo yung creditor. Alright. So, that is for purchases. So, meaning hindi po yan receivable. Okay? Kasi wala po tayong rights to receive cash or another financial asset dyan. So, yung pong advances na yan, ang marireceive po natin dyan ay inventories. Okay? Yun po yung marireceive. So, they are not under the definition of receivable. And then we have the last one, the credit balance on AR. It is presented as a current liability. Okay. So let us have the types of receivable, which is later on my succeeding videos, we are going to discuss them one by one. So first we have the accounts receivable that is to be discussed in the next 3 videos. So these are open accounts, no, that are being increase or decrease, no, depending dun sa customers natin kung madadagdagan niya or magbabayad ba siya. Okay. So next we have the notes receivable. Notes receivable is a receivable that is evidenced by a promissory note. Ayan. So syempre yan po, it bears interest. And then we have the loans receivable. Loans receivable, this is a receivable from a borrower. Okay, so makakakita ka lang ng loans receivable dun po sa mga financial intermediary. Okay. So presentation of receivables. Presentation po natin, no, pwede yan current asset. So, sino po yung to be presented as a current asset? So, yung atin po, again, yung trade receivables, regardless kung more than 1 year yan, basta yan ay trade, it is presented as a current asset. And then we have the non-trade receivable. If the non-trade receivable will be realized or collected in cash within 1 year. Okay, so it will be classified as a current assets. Okay. So, syempre, yung current assets po natin, no, kasama po yan sa isang line item. We call it the trade and other receivables. Yun po yung line item. Alright? For the non-current asset, we have the non-trade receivable which are expected to be realized or collected beyond 1 year. So, yun lang po ang non-current asset natin, no? Yung non-trade receivable for more than 1 year. Okay. So next, no, yung ating customers with credit balances. Okay, so bakit pa nagkakaroon ng credit balance ang customers accounts? So marami pong reasons yan. Let's say for example, overpayment. Sobra yung binayad ni customer sa atin. Siyempre yung AR niya, no, magne-negative balance. Okay? O kaya naman yung returns and allowances. Okay, so magke-credit balance din tayo dyan. O kaya naman advance payment from customers. Again, it is going to result to a credit balance. Okay. So, ano ngayon yung presentation natin? If the customer's accounts are already a credit balance, it should be presented as a current liability and it shall not be allowed to be offset on other customers' accounts. Okay, so hindi po pwede siyang i-offset. Okay. So what will be the initial measurement of the receivable? So according to PFRS 9, ang initial measurement po ng lahat ng receivable technically, no, is at fair value plus transaction costs that are directly attributable to the acquisition. Pero syempre, PFRS 9 is very broad. It talks about all of the financial assets. Therefore, accounts receivable shall be measured at initially at its face value. Yan. So, yun po yung measurement natin, which is its fair value. So, face value po tayo. Okay. Now, so how do we recognize a receivable? So, definitely, if we already have the rights over the receivable, we recognize the receivable, especially from sales. But there are cases or situations that, of course, there is an issue with the legal ownership of the sales. So, syempre, ang sales natin, nakadepende po yan sa atin pong shipping terms. Ayan, so meron tayong shipping terms, yung atin pong FOB shipping point and the FOB destination. So, the shipping terms po natin actually determines the transfer of ownership of the inventory. So, which is nakadikit po din dyan yung atin pong ownership of the receivables. Syempre, kapag na-transfer na yung ownership, ibig sabihin, that's only the time that we are going to record the sales. Kasi kung hindi pa po nata-transfer yung ownership, ibig sabihin, wala pa po tayong sales. Right? So, let us review. No? So, let's say, for example, the goods in transit, it was FOB shipping point. Sabi natin, kung yan ay FOB shipping point, the ownership over the inventories are transferred to the buyer upon shipment. So, therefore, if we are the seller, the sale has already been earned. Okay? Although hindi pa yan nakakarating kay buyer, pwede na tayong mag-record ng accounts receivable. Okay? And then, if the goods in transit, FOB destination, we say that the ownership will be transferred to the buyer upon reaching the destination. So, therefore, if we are the seller on the FOB destination, the sale is not yet earned. Okay? Magkakaroon ka lang ng sale kapag na-reach niya na yung destination. Yan. So let us have an example for this case. On December 31, 20X1, X company had 2 million accounts receivable. So the following are in-transit items that are yet to be recorded. Okay, so meron pa daw siya mga hindi nare-record as sales or as an accounts receivable. So first, merchandise sold to Zay Inc. FOB shipping point amounting to 100,000. So syempre kung yan po ay FOB shipping point, at binenta natin, tayo yung seller, sales na yan. Alright? Kahit na hindi pa niya nare-reach yung destination niya na si buyer. So, it means that it has to be recorded already as an AR. Next, merchandise sold to a company, FOB destination, amounting to 250,000. Okay, so since ito ay FOB destination, ibig sabihin matatransfer po yung ownership pagdating niya dun kay a company. Alright? So, since hindi pa siya dumadating doon, it was in transit, wala pa tayong sale. Okay? So, wala pang sales niyan. Kasi sa atin pa rin yung ownership nung inventory. And then the third one, merchandise purchase from B Corporation, FOB shipping point, amounting to 300,000. So, syempre ito, exclude na natin because it was a purchase transaction. Hindi siya sale transaction. So, it will not give rise to an accounts receivable, but rather it is an accounts payable. Ayan. So question, how much should be reported as AR? So syempre dito, we have the AR recorded of 2 million. Ia-add natin yung in transit na that was sold to Zay Inc. na 100,000. Kasi although yan ay still in transit, the sale is already earned because it was shipped FOB shipping point. Ayan. So the answer is 2,100,000. Okay. So for the subsequent measurement ng accounts receivable, which shall be illustrated on the succeeding video po. No? So the AR shall be measured at the net realizable value. So meaning it is the amount that we expect to collect or the expected recoverable amount natin. So AR shall be reduced by adjustments in the ordinary course of business. Okay, so sino yung mga i-reduce nating adjustment? So we have the allowance for freight charge, allowance for sales return, allowance for sales discount, and the allowance for doubtful accounts. So all of which, ito pong mga ito, no, shall be discussed on the next video po. Okay, so magkakasama sila. Yung estimating the net realizable value of the receivable. Alright? So that's it for today muna, no, for the first part of the lecture on the accounts receivable. So thank you for watching and see you on the next video. Bye-bye.